Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Boy, May is flying by. And we're very happy to have you guys in here with us, though, because today we're going to be talking about comic book news and comic book related. To be honest, there's not a lot of actual comic book news right now, but everything today is related to comics, which is good. And we're happy to have you guys here. Definitely check out our links down below, especially the Twitter if you want to be on the show or have ideas or you want to be on the Drawn and Quartered. Just hit me up. Of course, you can also hit up Booster here, our most favorite pie-eating New Zealander who seems to have traded over to noodles. I mean, he's a Benedict Arnold,
Oh,
that's for damn sure.
today's pie,
Oh, you're back to
mince and cheese
pie.
pie.
You
Yeah,
decided to come back to the fold. Well, that's good.
I'm all over the place, baby. I'm unpredictable.
Well, what kind of pie is it today, then, sir?
Mince and cheese, but I believe you Americans refer to it as minced meat. Not so. I'm not saying mint as in like fresh mint, because that would be weird. Minced meat and cheese with some
Chocolate
tomato
mint
sauce.
pies are good, though. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
pretty good. Yeah.
they are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, of course we know what mincemeat is, dude. We have a thing called a pierogi. It's very nice.
What the fuck's a pierogi?
They're good.
It's good, man.
I'm
It's
I'm
really good.
googling it.
Okay.
Let me save you
Ooh.
some trouble. It's basically a Polish ravioli.
They're good though. You know, another thing I really enjoy. My
That
wife,
looks nice.
they
I
they
like
are
that.
nice, dude. You know, something
Yeah.
that my wife makes really well is pasty. You ever had one of those? Probably. I mean, you're
I
British. You
have.
must have had one.
Pa-
It's
pasty.
good.
What pasty?
It's
How do you
good.
spell that? Tell me.
Well, pasty, pasty. I don't know what you guys call it. It's pasty. It's
Pasty.
like
Oh yeah, yep. I see it.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that's pretty much a mince and cheese pie.
yeah. My wife makes them really good. Took a while to get the flavor balance and all that kind of stuff, but boy, those are good. I do like them. You know. You know what else is
Nice.
really good?
Ooh,
Pizza
what?
rolls.
Yeah.
Oh, if you.
Oh.
Oh,
Can I
that
have
sounds
those in
so
Japan?
trashy.
Oh no, my wife makes them.
Oh,
Trashy.
yeah.
Those things are awesome, dude. You get some good cheese, some good ham, and you get some and basically put it in
I
a
don't
roll
mean
and fry it.
trashy. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
thinking of pizza pockets. No, that's trashy.
No,
But
no, no. I'm
Pizza
talking about
box.
those look
homemade
nice.
pizza
Yeah,
rolls, dude. They're really
Now,
pizza
badass.
have you
pockets.
made
Yeah.
have you made larger homemade pizza rolls or called strombolis? Oh,
God.
Oh well, yeah.
strombolis.
The thing she makes is kind of a stromboli. It's like a smaller stromboli. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to use words that the booster would understand. You know how those New Zealanders are.
Yeah.
I know. It's the
I
Kiwis.
don't speak the
Freaking
English no good.
True.
freaking
It's true.
barbarians.
That's true. Pockets, Adrian says with a question. Anyway, what do we talk about food for? We're here to talk about comic books. Let me introduce everybody. Of course, you guys know we got Booster. We also have
Mhm.
Slick Jimmy, the creator of Little Girl Lethal, Sugar Lightspeed. I still love the name of that character, dude. And hopefully
Love that dude.
you'll get that out soon because I want to see more things
I'm
from
I'm
you in the
work
future.
I'm working on it right now. I hit a stumbling block. We're doing editorial, and I've had a lot of feedback, and yeah, it's being painful. I'm gonna have to kill a bunch of my babies, text wise. Anyway,
Don't kill
yeah,
babies, dude.
Yeah, well,
it's a
words,
You
writing
know,
dude. It's a
term.
metaphor.
don't
It's a
kill
metaphor.
babies. All right?
Oh, that's
No,
fair
no.
enough. All right, but
Messed up.
I get what your point is, and but you got to do what you got to do. But I'm just curious to see what you do in the future. The good thing about it though, Slick, is that because you're kind of running behind schedule and stuff, and there's other people that have done that as well. But you're keeping everyone well informed, and it's clearly moving forward, and that's really makes a big difference. We've had several things that we just get no information whatsoever. And that's why people start talking, and then you don't want people talking, right?
Well,
Where
I feel like the lights at the end of the tunnel, but it's like right now it feels like the train. When I got this back, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. And then here's the thing: like they're probably gonna get in the book and go, "What do you mean? What do you mean this all this lettering took forever?" And it's because I had to scrap a bunch of things I wanted to do and tried to do, and then it just came to naught. So
yeah, I get it, dude. All right, and then of course our last panelist here, our booster. I'm going to need some sound effects. Are you ready?
Oh,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Okay, we have a dark alley, greasy and filthy. Street light flickering occasionally. Young punks scratching themselves, leaning against dumpsters.
I'm a young punk on a dumpster scratching.
The street ahead can be heard. The volume of cars racing by, smoke and steam. Then there's a crackle. Coming down on a thin wisp of lightning hair, landing in the alley. There to judge the scratching punks. It is Thundero.
I just I'm not sure I want to know what precisely they're scratching.
Crispy ball scratching punks.
This sounds like a very smelly endeavor. Yeah.
I thought it was the heroin wounds.
Oh, hey, DeWolfson
The
here.
tracks? You mean tracks scratching
Eric?
the tracks, huh?
Yeah. Rebel Gaming. Oh, we got people starting to show up. I guess the notification just hit. Well, welcome,
What up,
Mr.
bitches?
Thundero. How are you doing, dude?
I am, as always, spectacular. I refuse to be anything else. I'm actually very spectacular. I've been laid off this whole time, and my state government's been completely incompetent when it comes to getting out the money that the government was trying to give to everybody who's been laid off. And I finally got a notice that I should be getting it on Wednesday. So that's good. That's good.
That is true.
Sweet.
It's always good to hear. One thing that's really interesting, guys. I got pulled over by a cop the other day.
Uh-oh.
You have cops in
In my
Japan?
new red sports car. Yeah, we do.
Kind of.
They're kind of useless, to be honest with you. But yeah, we
I
have
thought
them.
everybody was just polite and you didn't commit any crimes.
No, you're right. They're completely useless, but we have them. And I was like, damn it. I wasn't even going that fast, but I was all right, fine. So it comes up. I get my registration and license just like you normally do. I get everything ready. And the guy comes up and he just starts chatting with me. I'm like, okay. And eventually, I mean, literally like within a minute, I guess, of his just chatting, he finally gets to his point and he's asking me about the car. So I literally got pulled over by a cop the other day so he could talk to me about my car as if I didn't have anything better to do.
That's what you get for
You're gonna
buying a
need
sexy car, man.
We're going to need some pictures of this car, because that's impressive.
I think I showed him already, didn't I?
I don't think of your actual car. I think you just showed of.
What is this,
No,
like a
I think I
Skyline
showed
or
a picture
something?
of my wife. No, I have a
Did you?
very, very cherry Type R Civic, dude.
Oh.
Really nice one. And here in Japan, it's cool because over in the States, you have a package or 2 or 3 that you can buy. But here in Japan, because all the Civics are custom ordered, right? They don't actually make them in Japan regularly. They're quite a rare car actually. But because they're custom ordered, you can take pieces off of any model you want and just kind of stick it together. So I built a pretty fantastic looking one. But I couldn't believe it, dude. I've never had that happen before. I mean, I've had cops pull me over to ask me questions about things that had nothing to do with driving. That's happened before, but I've never been pulled over so a cop could talk to me about my freaking car, dude.
Chester,
weird.
I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you the question that Booster is too shy to ask you. Was the cop hot?
No, God, no. And Bullet, you can bite both testicles, sir. Both of them. Yeah.
If he can fit him in his mouth.
If he can do that at the same time, yes.
There's not an image I needed at all.
Yeah,
I could have died a happy man without that image.
Would you rather
Now
gotten
it's
the
burned in your
$250 ticket? No,
synapses.
Roger. You're right. I just never had that happen before. Luckily, I was just literally out driving, so I wasn't in a hurry. But I just didn't know. I didn't know that kind of thing happened. It was a weird experience. But it is a beautiful car. And I get your point, Bullet. But over here in Japan, I mean, because it's a Japanese-made car, right? It's not some foreign Italian car, something like that. So, pretty much all men in Japan, it's like the ultimate icon car type of thing to have. And I get a lot of turn heads, and a lot of people come up and talk to me about it, which is kind of cool, I guess. But I bought it because the thing is badass, dude. It's badass.
See, now, are the Civics different? Because the Civics I see over here, I'm like, meh.
Well, it is a Type R. It's a 3. Well, I got a couple of packages on it. I think it's actually over the 308. I think it's closer to like 328 or 330 in horsepower. But it's just the way that the Honda set it up. The handling package is ridiculous. It's just power for days. I actually took it to the track and I headed up to 184 miles per hour. Yeah, it's a freaking race car, dude.
Does it drift too? Is it a good drifter?
No, actually, it's an anti-drifter. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It literally I can't throw the back end out of it. I've tried. So it's no, it's
Is it
not.
a front or rear wheel drive?
Oh, it's front wheel drive. That's the weird thing. It's so badass, but yeah, it's a front wheel drive. And yeah, the Nissan Skyline, of course, is a great drift car. It's another really fun sports car. But here in Japan, the Nissan, of course, is a desirable car, but that's more of the young man car. The Civic, particularly the Type R, but any Civic, it is kind of the dream car. I mean, it's a different culture, right? Yeah, in America, we have Chargers and Corvettes and all those kind of cool things, right? But here in Japan, their ultra cool cars are kind of in a small little handful of cars, right? And the Civic being one of them. But I bought it simply because I test drove a lot of stuff, man, and it was badass. That thing is badass. I'm telling you, those cars are ridiculous. And no, it doesn't drift at all, Eric. It doesn't drift. I've tried. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about the car. I just thought I thought it was weird that I got pulled over because the cop, wanted to talk to me about the car, and it took him a freaking minute to get to his damn point. You know?
That's ironic.
Oh, I
Oh,
get
yeah.
it now. The joke. Okay, I gone in 60 seconds. Oh, wow. See, Booster can be a little clever. He's got a brain. I don't know why he doesn't
Oh,
use
well.
it.
Let's not go crazy.
It's there. It's doing something there. I know.
Well, that's an interesting point, Nick. I was, of course, going to get the manual because it's a lot more fun to drive, even though the automatics these days are better than the manuals. But I was going to get the manual, but I got the automatic so my wife could drive it because you don't want to see her driving a manual, dude. It's pretty terrifying. So I did get the automatic. It does have the manual flat paddles you can switch over to, but it's that's kind of useless crap, I think. But anyway, let's move on. But I just thought it was funny, and yeah, it's pretty yellow fever this week. Drawing sexy Asians, dude. Any day, any day. But I do believe he's making a joke about your Han Dynasty drawn and quartered booster. Booster.
Booster's gone. He's out. He's done.
Oh my
Apparently.
God. All right. Insert Asian driving joke here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, you can go ahead. Go ahead. It's fair. It's fair. Anyway, let's move on. All right. So before we jump into the news, I have set up for us to kind of chat about today. You guys have any announcements or anything you want to talk about before we get into it?
I have a question that I didn't get to ask before we started the show, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it on the end. We're gonna do it live.
Okay.
What is going on with, well, one, Booster's schedule, so we know what we're doing, and two, the Bunny Vision movie night.
Well,
Now I know you and I said we were going to do it on what would be my Saturday, but then Booster last night told me he might not be able to do that. So I just need to know. That's all I'm saying.
I think it really comes down to what you and Booster can work out, and me trying to show up when I can, because my schedule is really ridiculous. I would love to show up to some of them. I know no matter what time you schedule for, I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. I know that. But I'd love to come to some of them, and I think it's a great idea. It's not a YouTube thing, it's a Discord thing. And I think there's a handful of people in the chat that would love to come together and watch a movie together. I mean, that's what it is. You're just sitting down watching a movie together, and I think it's fun. So really, you two work it out, and you tell me the time, and I will do my best to show up when I can. I think that's really what it comes down to. Yeah.
Works for me.
Booster.
I don't know where Booster is. I don't know what happened.
Oh, what's that? I was picking on my pies. What are we doing?
We're talking about
Dude,
Bunny
quit
Vision movie
napping.
night. The rebirth.
Oh, yeah, that thing. All right, what are we doing there? I guess I'm not working now, so I can just pick any day you like.
Can
Okay.
I ask a stupid question? What
Yep.
is Bunny Vision movie night? Because I'm
Booster,
not
it's
familiar.
your baby. Go ahead.
Well, basically, we just watch movies together. We used to kind of watch a movie and then commentate over it while live and everything, but I guess we're not doing that now. We're just watching movies. We're just getting through movie night. It's community, baby. It's about community.
Yeah, just for
I want to
fun.
be involved. I like movies.
Yeah, no, we just come into Discord, and it actually, I don't know why we didn't think of it before. I blame Thundero, but because we were using Rabbit, that's why I call it Bunny Vision Movie Night.
Yeah.
But they got shut down, which didn't shock me. But you can do the
I
same thing on
remember
Discord.
they kept changing because it was like such a perfect program when it first came out. Then they changed it, and they just deleted it. Then they like made all sorts of apps and programs. It's just like, no, it was so good the way it used to be.
Yeah.
You just messing with it. Oi.
Ruined it.
So
Okay.
maybe we'll go back to.
Let's do this. Let's do what we were going to do originally. Because Chester, you said you probably can make it at least for some of it.
Yeah.
If we do it on what would be my Saturday, your Sunday.
Yeah.
Would that work for you still, Booster, or do you not know?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
I'm probably not going to be bloody working with this.
Okay.
Well, it's also our Sunday, so it's and there's not a lot of work that goes on Sunday. It's usually service-based things on Sunday, right? Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, with Jeebus. But it's Fundaro's Saturday, not the American Sunday. And I know you Japanese are heathens. That's why you did Pearl Harbor.
No, I'm talking about our. That's true. But no, I'm talking about our Sunday. It's their Saturday, right? It's our Sunday, and so like 8 p.m. around 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. or whenever you guys want to set it, and therefore for you and I, it's either my morning or your early afternoon. I think it'll work.
Oh, these time things—they're a nuisance.
Yeah, no clocks, damn things. No better person than.
Why can't we just all get together and just get one time? I'm sick of it.
Okay, so Thundero, choose a time and put it out there to shut this.
I don't mean us. I mean the world at large. I mean all of us need to pick one time to agree on. Every country.
I got you.
Yeah, that's just the time now.
The hell with time zones and everything. I get it. Yeah.
Physical sense, but sure, why not?
Yeah, we're doing it.
Okay, so I think the original plan was, if I remember correctly, we were going to do it at like 8 p.m. my time, Eastern Standard Time in America.
That's right.
That should be, so that's like what, like 2 or 3 or something like that for you guys? What time is that over there for you?
That's like 9 o'clock for me. That's around 1 o'clock for him.
Okay, so yeah, that's what we're going to do then. We're going to do it Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, I'll post a link to it in just a second here. And all you'll have to do is join the general chat, the general voice chat, and one of us will be streaming it, or we'll start streaming it probably about 5 or 10 minutes after that, just to give everybody time to show up.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, and it's easy, guys. And the Discord is a very useful way to watch it, and we can just have fun watching a movie together or a TV show, and just goof off and interact with each other. And we're not going to bother doing the YouTube thing. Just do it. So cool. All right, 8 p.m. Saturday, Eastern Standard Time, in the Discord. Be there or be square. Can you still say that, Booster?
I don't know. Is that like hate speech now?
It is. I'm pretty sure. Cool.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah.
All right. Before I ask Slick what it is he wanted to say, let me see here. Talk about how the Pacific Northwest comic book industry is suffering the most. How will the Portland Mafia survive? Oh, that's fair enough. They always suffer the most, don't they?
Poor people, yeah. Especially the women and minorities.
Oh yeah, no, that they suffer certainly the most.
Yeah,
without question. That's true. Slick.
Yes.
You wanted to say something.
Did I? I asked about the movie night, and I believe that was it. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right, my brain just cataloged that Slick wanted to say something, so I just being nice. But all right, moving along. Let's go over and start our news. There is some interesting things today. Actually.
News.
Yeah. And let's see. Let me share my screen. Oh my God, what is that? That's a terrifying thing. Let me see here. I don't want that. I don't want that. Where's the one I want? Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it now. There we go. All right, cool. So you guys can click on mine and watch, and then I'll bring this up for you guys. And here we go. All right. Now, our first bit of news today is from Bounding into Comics and Booster.
Oh, the Matrix director Lily Wachowski goes after Elon Musk even, and Ivanka Trump over red pill tweets. Oh no, they're not allowed to talk about red pills.
No, and now this is kind of I thought was pretty funny. What was the Wachowski boys? What were their original names before they decided to become women's?
I have no idea.
I
I've always
forget.
just called them Japanese.
I don't know. I find it strange that they both decided to become women. Like the other bloke's like, well, you're not outdoing me again, brother.
Well, I think I guess the education booster continues. It's called incest. Just so you know, we have a word
Ooh.
for it. Yeah, yeah.
Oh no.
But anyway, community strike incoming for that one. Oh no. But I mean, first of all, it's funny. The whole thing is going on. I put this in here. It has nothing to do with comics, really. I mean, technically, I could say Matrix comes out of the comic books, and I could cheat. But I just put it in here because I think it's hilarious. Elon Musk is an absolute tool. He's always been a tool, and he'll always be a tool because he's a rich alpha male that gets and does whatever the hell he wants to do, right? But sometimes those type of guys can be quite entertaining, right? And he is putting it to California hard. He's basically taunting them to do something. It's like the bully. It's in your face, and they do it. Go ahead, do something.
You want
Do
to
something.
You're a dude, pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
And so far, he's winning. He's completely calling their bluff.
oh, of course, because they're a bunch of cucks, right? I mean, they gotta do whatever. They don't have real. They're just all bark. They have no teeth. But that's what's happening in California with Elon Musk, and he put up the simple little tweet: "Take the red pill." And Ivanka Trump saw it, and she said, "Take it." Right? Simple. And we all know what the red pill means. It means to not to open your eyes and not be blinded by all the lies of politic we see around us, whatever politic it may be. Currently, it's really about the kind of leftist SJW progressive nonsense. But I would take the red pill to mean that any political nonsense, right? But nevertheless, lots of people got upset, yelling and screaming, "Elon, you've changed." No, he hasn't. He's always been an alpha tool, always. And he's just reveling in it. But these little Wachowski boys, what do you call them? What am I supposed to call them?
They're the Wachowski siblings now.
Oh, okay, all right, I can go with that. But they're all been out of shape about it. It's just like you should use my thing. You're communists. Of course, you're the
Well,
communist, huh?
It's funny to me because lefties for forever will say things like, art takes on a life of its own and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Maybe commercially an artist owns it, but intellectually they no longer own it once they put it out there. It's
Of
for
course.
people to interpret. Da 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 da. And on and on. I've heard this my whole life from liberals and lefties. And yet when right wing people or just people who are tired of the BS come up with something, take a artistic medium and use it for their own purposes. Well, that's just too far. How dare you?
Yeah,
How
exactly,
actually
yeah.
dare you?
Well, the thing,
Get out.
Thunder, is I agree. Art does take on a life of its own. It's a very true statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with them. I just find it hilarious how quickly they recoil when it's being used against them.
Yeah, and another thing, I'm curious if you guys in the chat can help me out because I'm living over here in foreign land and I'm a little bit out of touch, and I understand that, and I respect that. But I understand what right wing is. I get that. I mean, politics doesn't really work like that. It's more of a from the bottom up. It's not really a left or right thing. I mean, you start at conservative, and then everything goes up from there, because conservatives are conservative. But anyway, but I get
Or they're
this.
supposed to be.
Well, I mean, then they're not conservative, right? They're something else. But anyway, I get the right wing thing.
Pussies.
I do. What I don't understand is alt right. This I don't get.
Nope.
It's a bullshit term.
Yeah, it's a blanket term used for anybody who disagrees with mainstream establishment right wing figures. There was a time when even Ben Shapiro was calling Trump alt-right. When he's just an economic nationalist. It's real simple.
I know that Milo Yiannopoulos coined the term.
No, I think actually it was coined by a guy, some writer in like 2008, just to describe people who were against No, it wasn't. It was just to describe people who were against like neoconservatism.
Yeah,
because the
it was
neocons completely took over.
anti-neocon movement. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Milo's the one that made it popular. How about that?
Yeah, and it changed over the years to become basically just a meme term, and anybody could call themselves that. There was like it's not like it was a thing. There was no leadership or whatever. There was people who tried to claim leadership, like Spencer, like Booster's talking about, but they never really mattered. The media propped him up more than anything else. People
he was just like a perfect punching bag, wasn't he? For the media.
Yeah.
It was perfect because he was out there saying all sorts of wild garbage, so the media could prop him up and be like, "Hey, look how bad the alt-right is! See, look at him! Look at him!"
Yeah. Well, he
well,
enjoys being controversial. That's his whole thing, you know. That's his shtick. But it's just a weird thing that's doesn't seem to go away because, alt-right, seemingly they are attaching people who are. Well, of course, they call everyone an alt-right, but from what I understand, what they want the alt-right to be is some kind of neo-Nazi, white supremacist type of thing. But of course, those people are not right-wing, though, because they're extreme. They're not conservative at all. They're quite the opposite of. They're just a different type of SJW, really. So I'm just a bit confused. So I'm assuming this is a terminology, one of those kind of terminologies that doesn't mean what it's supposed to mean. It's sarcasm, or I don't know.
Yes, and that's really all it is. Yeah. It's mostly ironic. The people who even identifies that, some people take it seriously, but most of the people who do, they're doing it ironically because they know it triggers people. That's all it is.
Okay, so they're just trying to
provocation for the sake of provocation.
Yeah, I don't know, Slick. I'm kind of curious, because you're from my generation. These younger folks use the word "triggered" a lot and problematic. And we used to use "get a rise out of someone." I kind of like our term better.
Push your button.
Push your button.
Get a rise out of it.
Yeah. I like ours
but
better.
Triggered is what everybody. Like you're triggered.
Oh
my God, you're triggered. No, you just somebody pushed your buttons.
Like I triggered Chester.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I get triggered so easily. Nixie says alt-right is a broad term like Comicsgate. Yeah, I kind of got that. I just a little confused because it doesn't make sense really. But thank you. Let's see here. Cult Film says in the mid 2000s, Rolling Stones outed the Wachowskis as being trans. Even as a normal person, I found it to be in bad taste. Guess they finally got the Globo memo. I don't know what that means, but
global memo, I think he's trying to say. I'm not sure though.
Okay.
What he means by that.
But I don't really care what they do. To be honest with you, that doesn't mean anything to me. But I just I think Thundero's point was the real point here. You don't own that thing. You made it, but it's out in the world now, and people can meme it and adjust it and do what they want with it. That's kind of how reality works. So
sorry.
It isn't the reference that they're using for the movie anyway from Alice in Wonderland?
Oh, probably, yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah. But there's nothing new under the sun. That's fair. I was actually watching the. You guys ever watch that guy called the Critical Drinker?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's funny. I get a kick out of him, and he's actually pretty good at what he does. But he was doing Avatar, and he's so right. The problem is, if you like Avatar, don't watch that video because it'll make you mad at yourself. Yeah.
He has, and I would love to actually do a full-fledged review of this video. He has what is I consider the best roast of all time in the history of the world on Kathleen Kennedy on his channel. He absolutely dissects her entire life and rips her open bare, verbally, of course, in a way that I have never seen put to a video before. Savage isn't even the word. It's beyond it. It's cannibalistic. It's so brutal. Yeah. And it's one of the best things I've ever seen. If you haven't ever watched Critical Drinker, I highly recommend him. He's actually an acclaimed author.
Is he?
He's done very well.
Yeah. And he is really tired, obviously, clearly very tired of this nonsense that's going on in the art world. And he just knows how to dissect these people verbally. It's impressive, actually, how good he is. He's the best I've ever seen.
It's fun.
It
is fun.
He's he started out his original actual videos were in a different kind of tone. He didn't, he's adapted this drunken bastard plays.
Yeah.
And he's very effective in how he excoriates media and people. The only one I think that rivals him actually might be Mahler, but he's much more long form. So
Mm-hmm.
And he does it much better. I tried to do the vulgar old man character, but I don't know, it doesn't work very well. Oh, well. I'll keep working on it. I'll perfect it one day. I will. Culpin Video says, I gotcha. Just found it interesting how quickly the corporations have changed. I'm in the club, guys. We're all on the same page. We are. Of course we are. I never liked the name CG. Neither did I. It didn't make any sense. Why does everything have to be a gate unless they meant gatekeeping? But whatever. I ain't got time for that. That is a funny meme. But yeah, no, of course, you guys know I felt the same way about it. Because the actual gate or controversy or scandal or slander or whatever you want to call it is coming out of those guys. It's not coming out of us. It's coming from the Marvel pros and stuff like that. That's why I was always against it. But it was there's been a lot of controversy of where Comicsgate came from. But I was there. I remember very clearly. It came from Nerd Wonder. She did it. Some people saying, "Oh, they were calling us that on the other side." No, they weren't. Nerd Wonder said it's kind of like a Comicsgate, she said in her high-pitched, extremely annoying voice. I didn't say that. Did I say that out loud? I did. But no, that came from Nerd Wonder, without question. And I was always like, nah, man, I get it though. Taking the criticism and the negativity as and making it positive, I get it. It's all right. But anyway, I just thought this was funny, and let's move on and talk about comic books. Booster.
Report: Justice League Snyder Cut may stream on HBO Max.
All right.
May. You can have your Snyder Cut if you want, boy. It's not going to fix the movie.
No, it's not going to do
Not
anything
at all.
at all.
In fact, if we had a Snyder Cut or a fully Whedon cut, you guys probably know how I feel about Whedon. Right? I'm not a fan of Joss Whedon. I think the guy's a hack, but still, a fully what's his bloody first name? Joss Whedon cut of Justice League would still probably be a better movie. And I can't stand the guy.
Yeah, no, that's probably true. But people have been screaming this for quite a while, and it's like, be careful what you ask for. You might get it. Yeah. Because I agree, and there's been several people here that said that, and elsewhere. The Snyder Cut isn't going to do anything for that movie. It's a train wreck. The concept is a train wreck. It's broken from the very beginning. It doesn't matter what cut it is. Now, to be fair, if you watch the theatrical release of Daredevil, I'm talking about the Ben Affleck crap. It's really bad. It's really bad. Yeah, I mean, it's sad how bad it is. But if you watch the director's cut, it does help. It does help. To be fair, it makes it a more watchable movie. So, but this one's so bad though, dude. I don't know, because that Justice League. I mean, Batman versus Superman was boring as hell, but it had some quality to it. But this thing was just
some cool parts. I just hated the absolute misunderstanding of the characters. I hated that Snyder seems to think that Batman's a mass murderer.
Oh yeah, no, he clearly don't ever let Germans make your comic book stories. I mean, really. I mean, come on. And I know you're screaming at me from the chat. He's American. I don't care. He's got a German name. He's German to me.
Schneider.
Schneider. Just damn Germans. But they wear leather and strappy things. Don't ever trust them people. And never trust a person wearing a mullet. Don't do that. Yeah. But anyway, this movie cannot be helped. There's only one good part in this movie, although I kind of agree with Thundero. The end, I think you said it, the end fight with Superman wasn't bad either. But that fight with Superman against the Justice League, that's a gem. You cut that out, you keep that. But I just don't understand why people think the Snyder Cut's going to be better. But we'll check it out. Let's see if the chat has an opinion on this. Release the Snyder Cut screams all the edgelords on Twitter. True.
Will there be a mustache in the Snyder Cut?
Why not?
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
One Doom Rabbit,
whole
the Brit. Hold on a second. We have an offense in the chat, Thundera. I do apologize. One Doom
Oh.
Rabbit, the Brit says, I don't know. Snyder's Batman vs Superman was good.
How dare he have opinions
Wow.
in my presence?
Wow.
Even.
I do believe I saw Roger Heller ask Roger. It'll be on Saturday in
Yeah.
American time Saturday, so Eastern time Saturday, not Sunday.
America.
Because he asked if it'll be after TFT, and no, it'll be a day before TFT.
Yeah, we'll go do it on the Sunday, and I'll show up as much as I can. But the good thing about it being Discord is we can all show up or as we can. So I think it's pretty cool. Cult film video says I don't like two Schneider films, but still want to see it. And the DCEU was broken as soon as Nolan greenlit the Man of Steel script.
All right. You know what he did best? You know what Zack Snyder did best? 300.
It was
Because
alright.
look, all right, I think it was awesome. Maybe that's just the teen boy in me because I was like 14 when that movie came out, right?
Oh no,
So I
it's
thought it was-
perfect. Yeah.
So yeah, right. So I thought it was the coolest shit. But I think that's what he does well. Unapologetically cheesy, over the top, high testosterone crap.
It's
Because
true.
it is a
I mean,
crap
like,
movie,
300
but
is
I
a very
loved
simple
it.
film.
It is.
Exactly.
300 is a very simple film, but it kind of is a touchstone at the same time. Boy, speaking of triggered, it triggered a whole lot of people when it came out because it has some subtext to it that a lot of people didn't like. And if you released it today, there would be a firestorm in the media.
What
People freak the fuck
subtext
out.
did it have?
Oh, it's very jingoistic. I mean, it's about America against the Middle East, that sort of thing. I mean, it has that
Is it?
like stand up. Oh yeah.
I didn't know America
Go
was
re-
Greek.
Go rewatch it.
Sweet.
You know, of course this is not literal.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's,
Do you
I know
think
there
that
was a bunch of
subject there, you're
sexy,
reading too hard into it?
muscle-oiled men. There was a lot of that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
well, I mean that's why Booster loved it.
that's true.
Mhm. And here's what Eric Hawkins said that you gotta see, right? Snyder took 300 panel by panel from the book to make the movie. That's what he does well.
Yeah.
He can't create for shit, but he is very good at adaptation, right?
Well,
and
Well,
visual.
everybody knows about my opinion. I think knows about my opinion about Sucker Punch. I mean, he destroyed what it could have been like a long-standing franchise just because he wanted to make an artsy fartsy $100 million student
Oh,
film.
I hate Sucker Punch so much. That was one of the worst movies
yeah.
I saw in my life.
It's got some cool things in it, but I get your point. I do understand. I do understand.
fucking hate that
Um,
movie.
But the thing with 300 though was kind of interesting. That was a long time ago, but at that time there were actually quite a few foreigners around the area where I live, which is hardly any now. But I back in those days I had access to a certain. I think it's illegal. I think it starts with pirate and it ends with harbor. I don't know. But anyway,
Yaha fiddle-dee-dee.
yeah, it's that. Okay, yeah. But anyway, so I have, I head over my house. I had a whole mess of people sitting in the living room back there, and we watched the 300 together. And as a group movie with a bunch of popcorn and people chatting, it's actually pretty fun.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah, that's all it needs to be.
yeah. So
He
that's what it-
He doesn't do dark and brooding and deep and philosophical well.
It's
Okay.
like Michael Bay movies. Yeah, they're terrible movies, but you can do that with them. You put them on the background and ignore them, and they're there. They exist. Like it's the same idea, right? You can at least passively enjoy it, even if you can turn your brain on for 2 seconds. Your brain will scream at you and call you a rapist or something because they're that bad. But when it comes to if you're just looking for something to take your mind off of stuff or something to put in the background or just high energy stuff, it's fine. That's what it's for.
Well, the thing about Sucker Punch, because the chat is talking about it as well. There was a missed opportunity with that. I agree, because with Sucker Punch, if he played up on the part that the whole movie, we know it's in her imagination. I get that, but the whole movie they're kind of moving her closer and closer to the spoilers lobotomy. and they made it so cringy, a toe curling type of cringe as we approached it, and it was far more dynamic because it was almost anticlimactic when he
Yeah.
lobotomized her, right?
Wasn't
if he
it like a lobotomy within a imagination scenario or something? It was so dumb.
no, she literally was
Oh no,
lobotomized.
she was having a lobotomy, right? And then she was imagining herself in, was it a strip club scenario where they imagined themselves in some video game shit? I don't. It was so weird.
It
Yeah,
was
it was
weird.
Inception. It was the world within a world within a world.
Because she was trying to, in her broken way, figure out an escape plan. But I'm just saying, if he built upon the cringe and the uncomfortable nature of what's about to happen to this girl, and it's a complete tragedy. I mean, the whole movie's a tragedy, right? If
I
he'd
feel like
really
Zack
built on
Snyder.
that, it would have been good.
I feel like Zack Snyder wants to be both Michael Bay and Christopher Nolan, but he can't do both. He can't do either very well.
Well, Michael Bay and Christopher Nolan can't do each other either. I mean, they don't. They're lost half the time anyway. But
That's true.
yeah. But anyway, interesting. There were some good little segments in the Sucker Punch that were fun to watch, though. I like the samurai one; that was pretty cool. Michael
Well,
Bay is
I like
great
the
when he's
samurai,
not just
and
chasing toys. Yeah, that's true.
I like the fantasy ones. I like the fantasy. If the whole movie had just been this kind of crazy, like weird dimensional worlds, and none of this like psycho interplay bullshit, just something for me to watch, just a regular old adventure, I would have been much more happy.
Yeah.
I didn't need all this other psychological bullshit. I just didn't need it. I didn't need to be challenged in something that looks like, an action adventure half the time.
Yeah.
You're mixing genre to the point where I'm just like, I'm jarred. I don't really care what's going on. I don't care about these girls in there. And then half there's a part where they're in the mental institute. There's a part where they're in the burlesque / brothel, and then there's this fantasy world, and they're all layered on top of each other like it's. And then you guys like Movie Bob, who thinks it's a fucking masterpiece, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
It does have some fun things, but I get what you're saying. What came to my mind when I'm thinking about Sucker Punch, and since we're talking about it here, is another movie that did it far more successfully, I think, and that was The Devil's Advocate. And yes, I know it's Keanu Reeves. Stop. But that
Whoa.
movie did a very similar thing, but it did it really well. The only real problem I had with that movie at all was the fact that the devil restarted things in the cutscene at the end or at the very end. He shouldn't have done that. He should have just walked out of the room. As he's walking by, he burns the bodies of his dead kids, and he walks out. Knowingly he's going to go try again. That would have been a better ending. But the way they handled that, how it came out of nowhere, and that kind of cringy moment where Keanu makes the decision and puts a bullet in his head. Spoilers. That dealt with the situation much better than Sucker Punch did. And if Sucker Punch had risen to that level, it would have been a better movie, I think. Anybody?
I don't know. I got to see What's Her Name naked, so I was all right.
That's true.
Yeah. I've never seen Sucker Punch, so I don't know. I've never even like.
Again, like I'm one of those people. Just go watch the samurai thing. It's cool, right? And then
there's some
flying
good visuals,
the bomber, flying I think it's a B-17 around like this castle with the big dragon. That was pretty cool too. But I mean, if you want to watch the whole thing, it's just I don't know. And obviously, like everybody thought that Emily Browning was going to be the next big thing, and she's just a footnote.
She was cute. I give her that. She was definitely cute. But what was this, Ray? I saw one. Oh, yeah. Eric says, okay, I'm going to say it, and I will take the heat. Scoob is great. I loved it. I've actually heard good things about Scoob, dude. I don't know. What are you talking about? Anybody seen Scoob?
Oh, but a character says toxic masculinity at one point, so you're not allowed to like it. It's clearly SJW.
Well, is it? I mean, we were talking about this off air, actually. There are movies, a lot of them these days, that have some manner of progressive politics in it. But beyond that, they're really well written and they're fun. And it doesn't matter.
It looks fun.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Well, the real problem isn't the term toxic masculinity. It's how I'm not talking about this movie. I'm just in general how it's used. There is such a thing as toxic masculinity. I don't think anybody's ever questioned that. Obviously, sometimes men are pricks, but it's when you take it from those specific instances where a male is being very negative in some aspect, whether it's overly aggressive or whatever.
Or booster.
Yeah. Or booster. Yeah, I wouldn't call it masculine booster's case, but yeah. You take that and apply it too broadly to all masculine traits, and then out of the other side of your mouth, try to deny that masculine traits exist at all.
Yeah, no,
So
they're very confused. They are very confused.
Yeah.
But then again, at the same time, what about feminine toxicity? Because that most certainly exists as well.
And that's far more prevalent in our culture and far more dangerous.
Well, these days.
Yes.
That's true. Yes. Yeah. I don't know, whatever. And Velma is vaguely ethnic. How are you vaguely ethnic?
It's like when you're sort of kind of maybe brown.
Brownish.
Is it like you only put pepperoni on half the pizza? Is that a vaguely pepperoni pizza? Or
have you guys noticed?
No. It's vaguely ethnic as if they just pour some olive oil on it.
Oh, I see. But have you ever noticed how horribly racist these guys can get, though? I was wife and I. There was
Booster.
Yeah, Booster. But no, there was a Netflix movie, and it's hard to find good stuff on Netflix these days. But my wife had heard good things. We want to watch it, so I went to watch a review. It's called Extraction with Chris Hemsworth, and I won't spoil it at all. But so I went and watched a review, and it looks okay. So we went and checked it out. But the review I was watching was talking. This reviewer was kind of laughing at it, but it actually caught a lot of SJW pushback. And the reason it got pushback was because the brown people were not from the right country. They were supposed to be in Bangladesh, but they had Indians in the role, as if there's that big a difference between them. It's mainly a religious difference, guys, just so you know. But they were just going on brown people. These are white people doing brown people, and it's like, you do realize they're called Indians or Hindis or what have you. They're not brown people. It just comes off as such a racist thing. These people, right?
Well, it's also
some of them are very light skinned too. So
sure. Well, you do realize the white people come from them. They are our ancestors.
Yeah, it's just stupid because the only reason we use color classifications for race is because that's the most obvious trait. But when you break it down, it has very little to do with anything racial. It's just coincidence more than anything why Europeans have not really white skin, and everybody else has differing shades of brown or a differing shade of white, which would be the yellow skin, quote unquote.
I am pink, damn it! I'm a pink human.
Exactly. It's just a stupid classification that we use because it's simple, and that's how humans do things. We try and simplify it as much as possible, and it's just dumb. It's not accurate. It's not genetically accurate. There is no white genes. There are no black genes. It's just not true. But we still use these classifications because our language isn't precise enough. And even when it is, most people don't understand that.
Yeah, but
they don't have the ability.
It's just cringy, Thundero.
Yes,
it's so cringy. I mean, they made that movie. Clearly, they went over, got hooked up with Bollywood. Now, here's the thing, though. Bollywood sucks major balls. If you've ever watched it, don't do it. It'll hurt you. But when you have a foreign film director that, like a British one or Canadian or some white guy, let's put it that way, some white guy comes in and does something with some foreign group, like a Japanese or a Chinese group or an Indian group or what have you, it's always better. Because their stuff is way overacted, way melodramatic. It's their culture. But when you have the more realistic Hollywood come in, where they want to kind of make it feel real and build that tension, it works better. And I'll tell you what, Other than I just thought that was a horribly cringy thing from this person that was screaming racist on others. It felt very racist coming from them. But that aside, we watched the movie, and everyone in it is very serviceable. I wouldn't point out any bad acting at all. It was very serviceable. Chris Hemsworth is normally, it's just Chris Hemsworth. He's serviceable. He's not great. He's not bad. He just is. He's eye
Is
candy. But
is he trying to be funny?
no, he's not. He's quite serious,
Okay, good.
actually. He's very quite serious.
Because
But I mean,
because someone along the line convinced Chris Hemsworth that he's a funny person, and it ruined him.
in a way, yeah, in a way. But this movie is nothing like that. And like I said, he's very serviceable. He's not a super great actor, but he can do the job, right? But the thing I took away from that movie, it's a fun little action movie. It's go watch it. It's fun. But the thing I loved about it, there's an Indian guy in there. And he's playing kind of a counterpart to Chris Hemsworth, and he does a lot of action stuff. I loved that guy. Loved that guy. Hollywood needs to go scoop that guy up and put him in movies because he just charisma. He's a great action mover. He was actually much better at the action than Chris Hemsworth was. I loved him. I don't know his name. I got to go check it out. But that dude needs to get into bigger movies because that's a freaking actor right there. And that's all I have to say about that. But definitely go check
Was
out
it
Extraction.
Run Deep Huda?
I don't know. I have no clue. As if I would remember a foreign name anyway. I'm horrible with that shit. But I loved him.
Did he play the character Saju Rav?
Yeah, I think that's who he was. Yeah. That's who he played. I think that's who he
I
played.
found him. I
Yeah.
found them, boys.
Yeah, but I mean, that dude is a really good actor. He's a very good action actor as well. He should be in more movies. That was the gem I got from it. But it's a fun little popcorn movie, though. If you haven't checked it out, go do so. It's hard to find good stuff on Netflix these days, man. It's really hard. But I don't know.
Mhm.
Anyway, let's move on from this, I guess. Who cares about the Snyder Cut, guys? And besides, do we have to keep bringing it up? Do you realize the tragedy around this situation for Mr. Snyder? Whether we like his films or not, his freaking daughter died, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks, right? And
It is. It is horrible.
It's terrible. I mean, let it die. Please let it die. Anyway, moving on.
For the love of God, of any movie in the world you want to be this autistic about, why in the hell would you pick this garbage?
Yeah, it's true.
It's a garbage movie from beginning to end with a few decent scenes that are worth watching.
Yeah.
You can watch those on YouTube for free.
And it's weird that they really took the community or the fans took this one to latch onto because really Batman versus Superman is much more savable movie, and the extended cut that they put out or whatever they called it, it helped. It did help because that's a savable movie in a way. Justice League is an absolute trash fire, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
it's unsaved. You can't save that, dude. But anyway, let's move on to this because I'm actually interested about this. I really want to enjoy a freaking X-Men book, dude. Damn it, Booster.
What do we have? What do we have? X of Swords Creation #1 launches the next big X-Men story. What the hell is this? Tell me.
Well, that's what I want to know. This comes from Jonathan Hickman. Am I allowed to like Jonathan Hickman? Is that okay?
I think we're allowed to. Yes, we're allowed to at the moment.
Teeny Howard, no clue. Pepe Larraz. I love how we have a Teeny and a Pepe. That's awesome. But anyway,
What a lineup.
What a lineup. X of Swords, Creation #1. But the thing is, man, I've been jonesing for a good X-Men book for quite a while. This whole thing they did where they're kind of rearranging the X-Men and deciding who's power, what power level and all this kind of stuff they were doing, I just didn't dig it, man. I didn't, and I love X-Men. Don't you guys love X-Men?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't we
Absolutely.
want a great X-Men again? I mean, come on.
X-Men's alright,
All right, let's see what this is here. Marvel Comics has announced X of Swords Creation #1, which kicks off X-Men's new big crossover X of Swords in September. That doesn't help me at all. The cover scene here shows some of the mutants who will wield 10 powerful blades and bear the slogan, "Raise your swords." X of Swords Creation is written by X of Swords, God, you people, pronounced 10 of Swords, written writers Jonathan Hickman and Teeny Howard, no clue, with art and cover from Pepe Larraz. X-Men line editor Jordan D. White, spokesman to Newsarama, spoke to Newsarama about what to expect from the events earlier this year, calling it the craziest X-Men story ever. Well, aren't they always? Let's take a look at this cover here if we can. Can I make it bigger? No, let me just use this one then.
I do have to say that I don't like X of Swords as a title. But
It's not a good title. I think it's supposed to be, as they say, 10 of Swords. Get it? Because it's a Roman numeral. It's
yeah, that's fine. I guess 10 of Swords, but whatever.
What does that even mean?
Well, it seems to be taken off the kind of famous Hong Kong kung fu movie. What was this? The Seven Swords, or I think it was the Seven Swords. But that's the first thing that popped in my head. And someone says, "I love Pepe Larraz." Well, his art's not bad. What do you guys think about the art?
I like it.
Yeah,
it's passable.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's not bad. That's for sure.
I'll fiddle with it.
Yeah. But yeah, we don't have any clue. All we have is this comic. It looks like we have some Egyptian gods, I guess, up here.
Anubis.
It's Anubis, and it's a pharaoh type. Is it the pharaoh?
No,
No, that's DC.
That's Apocalypse Eris, and he's Egyptian or whatever. So.
He is Aben Sur, of course. But yeah, I don't even know these characters though, dude. What do we got? We got, of course, we have Apocalypse. Is this Rachel Summers down here? Maybe. I don't know. This is supposed to be a female, I think.
Aben Sur is the Green Lantern that Hal Jordan made.
Oh, did I make a mistake with that? What is Apocalypse's original name?
Let's find out.
It's something like that. Aben Sur, you're right. Is the one that gave Green Lantern the ring. Damn it.
Insabanur.
Yeah. But it's a very similar thing.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty close.
Very close. Yeah.
La Raza is a decent artist. Yeah, I think so. It tastes like mustard and bigotry. Yeah, that's exactly my point, Nick. I really want a good X-Men. I love X-Men, dude. N'Sabanur. Thank you, Eric. It is a cool name. That is really. I mean, some of the naming conventions have worked out pretty well over the years, I'd say. But I don't recognize any of these people. Is that Forge over here, maybe? Who's the one with the damn target on his chest? Who's he supposed to be? I have no clue. Is this Beast, maybe?
That's cis white male or something.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is a Cable-esque character. So he's saying Beast, young Cable, not sure who the rest are. Well, okay, I get you. That is your young Cable, not Forge. That's probably Beast, although it doesn't look very beasty. That might be Rachel Summers. I have no idea who this pseudo-feminine thing down here is, and I don't know what this effeminate male with the spot on his chest is either.
Why are there no swords on?
I know. That's
this
the
cover.
first thing that pops to my mind. Why are there no swords?
There isn't even one sword. We're promised 10 swords. We do not see one sword.
Well, don't worry. There is guns.
There is guns. There is guns.
See, but that's the type of thing is like a problem with this age. Like they call it, swords, and then there's no swords. It's bad storytelling. Why there should be one sword at least to put in there, and I don't see one in the entire cover.
Yeah, no, he's right. It is Rachel Summers and M. Yeah, such a useless character.
M? Who's M?
Oh, it's one of the new things that just got thrown in this past year or so. Maybe I'm wrong. Is this one of those gender swaps? No, I think it's one of the new characters that came out with that whole we're going to rearrange and completely define the X-Men because that's what's best for the future. I'm pretty sure, unless this is the switch with X-Man. They might have done a gender swap as far as I know. I haven't read Marvel.
How long before we're calling this X-Man?
I'm sure. Let's do it already. He was killed by young Cable, right? Old Cable is still dead, I guess. This is once again dumb. But oh god, it does. It doesn't inspire me, Thundero. Uh,
No. Me
but I
neither.
do like Hickman though.
Well,
Hickman can do. He can draw. He can write, dude. But he's the same one
is
who
this
did
how the
this.
cover's gonna look?
I guess. Yeah.
Because that titling is atrocious. It's just
Oh
not good.
no, you're right. I mean, no, it's all right. It's Booster's right. It's passable. But thank you, Nick. M is Monet St.
The art's
Croix
not bad.
from Generation X. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. I get that. That makes sense for me. But she's not drawn well. I know that. That's a horrible face there. But I did recognize Rachel. I guess this could be. It doesn't look like Beast though, dude. It just doesn't. What is? He's got elf ears now.
Did he lose his hair?
I guess.
He's Gargoyle
Oh.
Beast. That's his name.
It's Gargoyle
I don't
Beast.
know.
Okay.
No, I'm kind of going with Slick. I'm starting to hate this art more and more. Why is that?
It's passable art. Like it's passable. It's not stellar.
I'll tell you why. You start noticing that the faces look very similar, right? Look how they're all practically the same
Yeah, they
angle. Look
kinda
at the
suck.
Cable's face, and then that chick on the far right, right? Their faces are near identical
Yeah, you're right.
with the eyes and everything, and there's absolutely no definition on the eyes, right? It's just like shadowed out to save up time.
Yeah. And Nick says she is Muslim. Don't tell Miss Marvel. I love how they came out with that and said she's the first Muslim comic book character ever. Really? I do
I
recall.
thought Dust was.
Well, no, dude, no. It's
And
much.
then there's
no.
Arabian Night too.
Arabian Night and the other guy, the tornado guy. When I used to watch the Super Friends. What was his name?
Muhammad.
No, he was not Arabian Night. He's damn it! Someone help me in the chat from the Super Friends cartoon back in the late '60s, early '70s. But no, it's not.
Tehran Tornado.
No. Dust wasn't even close. Although Dust was created by Ethan Van Sciver. It's one of his characters, right? But no, there's been Muslims in comics since Stan Lee stepped in and created Marvel, I think, and it was probably in there from the way back. I bet you if you go back and see some Shadow comics, there's some Muslims up in it. I bet you.
They're probably like not mega. They're probably the bad guys.
Well, not necessarily though. Could have been allies. He was working within an area. I mean,
Arabian Night was not a bad guy. He was a hero.
Yeah, and he's coming from the pulp era too, isn't he? Isn't that one of the characters that DC picked up in one of their purchases?
Like, I think it was like
Or
the first time I ever saw him was in the '70s.
Yeah.
The Marvel Arabian Night.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. But anyway, that's such a stupid. They're dumb. They're all dumb. But I don't know. I'm not inspired, dude. Oh God, please don't suck. Let's. I gotta go ahead. Moving on. You say this isn't comic book related. I say the hell it isn't. Star Wars comic books exist. Go ahead, Booster.
All right, Timothy Olyphant cast in the Mandalorian season 2.
Well,
this is so justified.
It is justified. You don't know Timothy Olyphant, dude?
Oh yeah, I know him. Yeah, that guy.
No, you don't. Okay.
Yeah, of course I know Timothy Olyphant. He is an American actor and producer, and he made his acting debut in an off-Broadway theater in 1995, The Monogamist.
Well, I'll say you're pretty good. You're pretty quick typing. You might want to think about becoming a secretary.
Yeah, I'll be a secretary. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Hey man, we got a lot of female CEOs that need a little bit of service, and you could step up to that.
You take good dictation.
Yeah, you do that.
Anyway, I won't be kicked. Anyway,
I love. Now he was cool. I did like Justified, Eric. I probably preferred him in Deadwood, to be honest with you.
I own all of it. I actually like Justified better than Deadwood, and Deadwood I love. It's one of the best modern westerns done in the last little while. I really enjoy it.
Justified is fun. I did enjoy it. Yeah, I did. But this is good
Longmire is my other one.
Longmire. That's not bad at all.
Longmire kicks ass. I love it.
Actually, that Sackhoff girl is in that, and that's actually the only acting I've seen her do that's actually not bad. In Longmire, I think that's some of her best work, to be honest with you. That Sackhoff girl.
She does a good job there.
She does. I like her character.
Katie Sackhoff.
Katie. Yeah.
When she gets in a crying or something, she twists her face up. She does not look attractive at all, and I kind of like that about her because she's not attractive when she emotes a lot. Like it does stuff to her face. and then she like lets it go, and she just looks pretty, kind of plainly pretty.
Plain
It's a
pretty.
weird thing
She's
about
the
that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the wallflower pretty. But I never really thought about it, but because I said of saying Katie, I said sack off, and it's like, does she get the sack off? I didn't notice it.
Oh my
It's right
gosh,
there.
Sokolov is her name,
It's
I think.
it's no a sack. We're going with sack off.
All this
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
getting off. Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
God. But anyway, back to Mr. Oliphant here. That's good news, dude. That's really good news because this is a straight up actor. This guy's very capable. Yeah. Is everybody happy?
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. Is he going to be a bad guy or a good guy, or
I hope he's a bad
what's
guy.
he going to be?
God, I hope he's a bad guy. I
Because
hope he
I think
is.
he'd be good as a bad guy.
Yes, he
You
should
know,
finally do one.
or like a really great character, somebody you don't know what's up with them or something. You know, that'd be good too.
Yeah, no, yeah. This is not bad at all. This is pretty good. He's capable dude. And Bullet is really cruising for a beating. I swear to God, Bullet.
He also, people don't know this about him. Have you ever seen his Django, that animated, the 3D animated with what's his bucket, Captain Jack? The guy who plays the Clint Eastwood kind of spirit character, that's actually Timothy Oliphant doing channeling, Eastwood. He does a really good one.
Rango, yeah.
Yeah, Rango.
Actually,
Sorry.
from what I've noticed over the years, he does quite a bit of voice acting, actually. Yeah. But I suppose they all
He
take
does.
it when they for whatever they can get when they can get it, right? But I like Timothy Oliphant. I like him.
Rango was so good.
Yeah. He did the Clint Eastwood voice. Yeah, that's right. So this is good news. I'm happy about it, and I think everyone's looking forward to Mandalorian season 2 because it's a property that is in fair hands. And there's another one because it certainly has some progressive politics in it, but it's all right because it's well written, it's fun, it's well done, it's not over the top. It works, right? Yeah, and that's true. The thing told for Longmire, it is cool. One of the real things I loved about Longmire is we got to see Lou Diamond Phillips again after so long.
He's awesome. In that
He
show
is
too.
awesome. He's
Like,
always been awesome. Lou Diamond's badass, and of course we have our very own Lou Diamond Phillips. Of course, DeWolf shows up from time to time, and boy, he does look like Lou Diamond Phillips, dude. It's crazy. Yeah, no, Longmire. If you haven't seen it, go check that out. That's fun. Moving on, it doesn't have Oliphant in it at all, though. No, no. Moving on. What did I do here? Oh yeah. No, that's not what was this? That's not what I wanted. I'm sorry. Here's what I wanted right here. Go ahead.
Oh, what do we have here? Rumor: Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios bringing Nova to live action.
All right. Now.
Oh, okay.
Now, just curious what you guys think. Nova was kind of one of those, I don't know, D-listers for a long time, C-listers for a long time. And then in some cartoon my kids were watching, some Spider-Man and Friends type of cartoon, I don't know what it was called. They brought Nova was one of the ones, and they were doing the Shield Academy kind of thing with the kids. Spider-Man, Nova, a young Iron Fist, or I can't remember all the characters, but Spider-Man, of course, doing his Buckethead routine, and Nova was playing like this kind of hippie-esque, California surfer dude type of thing. I thought it was funny. I thought it was kind of the best the character's ever been portrayed, but I don't know. What do you guys think that Nova can carry a show?
I don't know. It'd have to have good writing. I personally, if they were going to go cosmic, I'd rather have Silver Surfer, Warlock, or even Quasar before Nova. But
That's
not my
my
choice.
point. That's exactly my point. And I also don't know how they're going to squeeze it in because we know that we've already seen the Nova Corps in the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they made them completely different. They've completely different. The technology was a ship; it was not a helmet. So how are they even going to bring Nova in anyway, seeing as they've already detailed their Nova Corps? You know what I mean?
Well, I think the main reason
Mhm.
if they're gonna do it with Nova, the main reason they would pick him, I would gather if I was just to guess, is because it's far more marketable, Nova, than it is those other options. I mean, Warlock is, I guess, but Quasar's just not. It's
Come on, Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer
yeah, even
kicked
more than him.
ass.
Because it's not that Silver Surfer doesn't kick ass; it's that we've already seen Silver Surfer in a movie, and that movie sucked. So they're going to be averse to trying to do it again.
Although
with a
he looked
character
good
that's
though.
not- What's that?
He looked good though.
Yeah, he looked good, but
Yeah.
the
Well,
rest,
he was the best thing about the show, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
But
I just think probably really like risk averse when it comes to him, just because of the Fantastic Four movies.
yeah.
If I had
But
to guess, that's just a guess.
I'm going to make DeWolf happy, and I'm going to say Quasar would actually be a much better for the writers, though, because that's a conflicted character. That's a character that's not truly heroic, that has to learn to become something. There's far more meat on the bone with Quasar than there is with Nova Dude. A lot more.
You're talking about Disney's writers. You really want him to try and do a complex character again?
Well, I'm just telling you. I mean, technically, Quasar.
I love Warlock, though. I would love Warlock.
You talk about Adam Warlock, I'm assuming. You're not talking about the
Adam
New
Warlock.
Mutant. Yeah.
No,
Well,
Adam
Adam Warlock
Warlock.
was teased, and once Guardians 3 comes out,
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they teased him in there, and
They did.
him.
Yeah, I will call him
And
Adam. How shocked were you that he didn't show up in the Endgame or
I
Infinity Wars?
was pretty shocked.
Yeah.
I thought, because that he is a major part of the actual comic, the original.
Oh, well, he most certainly
comic.
was. Yeah, he was integral. But because I really expected to see him, especially with the Guardians hinting him, right? I thought, man, you know what probably killed it? I tell you, this is probably what killed it. What's the Guardians of the Galaxy director who got himself in trouble for all his pedophilic jokes?
James Gunn.
James Gunn, that guy.
James Gunn.
Yeah, and that all that controversy had gone on. He was a name to not be mentioned, and it's probably what screwed it all up. I bet you, and originally he was supposed to be in it. Yeah, but it all got screwed up because I have a feeling. This is just my guess, but that Captain Marvel movie we saw, I think, was probably supposed to be the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or 4 or whatever number. I think it was supposed to be Guardians of the Galaxy was supposed to be the one before the Endgame, and it was going to bring in Adam Warlock and other characters that were going to flesh out their idea, but that screwed it up. So they ended up throwing Captain Marvel in and saying it's important to the story, which it wasn't, and then doing this just shoddy Endgame story that they did. Do you guys agree with that, or am I way off base?
No, I think you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
They had
Maybe.
to postpone that movie because of all that stuff, and then put on their PR face like they fired him, which they did.
Well, I mean, everybody's pointed this out, that Captain Marvel did just feel shoehorned in, it didn't fit. I mean, when you look at the story and then the stuff that they had set up before, it really didn't fit very well.
I think it was supposed to come later. It's going to be part of his feminist wave, and which could be good or bad. We have to wait and see. Because to be honest, Captain Marvel, what's wrong with that movie is more than just the slight bits of progressive politics that are in it. There's a lot wrong with that movie, and I think it was rushed. I don't think it was supposed to be there at all, and that's I think that's what happened. Yeah. Oh well, but it's really so sad though, man. Infinity War was freaking epic.
Yeah, I don't trust Marvel to do the cosmic stuff right at all. Or Disney or whoever's in control of it. They're going to tone it down way too much. They're not going to let it be super high concept. They're going to humanize it, and it's going to suck.
And they're going to turn Galactus into a woman.
Yeah, well, they already turned him into a cloud, so why not?
Yeah.
Granted, that wasn't them that did that, but Hollywood in general did.
Yeah, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
I don't know. It would have been so epic to do Galactus the way Galactus is. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't get why they. Was it not in the budget? They couldn't do it to be Galactus.
Wasn't that based on the Ultimate Fantastic Four version, Galactus or something?
Well, the Ultimate, the Swarm. And that whatever, that whole Ultimate thing. And it's really weird too, because most of the mundanes don't really know who or what Galactus is. Of course not. They don't read comic books. But Galactus is one of those images that people know because the Fantastic Four was an epic hit. And people seem to forget about this. And Galactus, especially that one cover in particular, has been. When I was younger, it was used in advertising and stuff all over the place. People know what it looks like. Oh, that character. They might not know the name of it. They certainly don't know the backstory of it, but they know what that thing is. That giant purple guy from Marvel, right? And why are you running away from it? But it's the Christopher Nolan syndrome. That's what it is. It's that freaking Christopher Nolan syndrome. And that's the one thing I have to give to Feige. He has always kind of bucked that thing. And he's like, no, they're superheroes. They should
Well,
be
yeah,
super-
he's bucked it, but then he fell right into the Joss Whedonism of everybody's a snarky one-liner.
Well, that's
Instead of
true. Yeah,
each
but
character
that's
having their own individual personalities, they all come up with basically the same thing,
Well.
just different takes.
Well, here's the thing I think about, like the main stuff for Marvel, because it's proved itself over the years, is there's some iconic stuff that is very marketable, and if you screw with that, then you screw with the marketability of it. And things like Galactus, I've seen Galactus T-shirts, freaking cool, and you bring this character who really does have a visual impact, and you bring him to the big screen. If we still have that in a little while, people are going to remember this character because he's a tragic character in many ways. He's above and beyond us, but he's like an elemental force. He's not really a true villain in the sense that he doesn't do things for villainous purposes. He does things to survive, and that's an interesting character to explore. And if you bring him in, then you have all this other the galactic pantheon that Marvel has. We're not talking we're talking the stuff they fomented by themselves, like the Celestials and the Elders of the Universe and all that other stuff.
Well,
and they kind of touched on that in Guardians, but they really didn't show what they are.
But that's the thing, though. They touched on it in Guardians, and it's a memorable part of a very popular movie. That was cool. Ooh, what's that? They could easily take and do a celestial line. That would be an interesting storyline. I mean, so think about what we know about it. Compact it down to a story. Celestials seeded the universe. Because they're basically representing the creator in a way. Now we know Marvel cosmology is way deeper than that, of course. But from a movie viewer point of view, you can replace God or gods, and you can replace it with these seemingly synthetic creator race, right? With the Celestials, and you can you can set up your movie series with that and have a run with the Celestials in the background, kind of like you did with Thanos, and then have it be this big epic cosmic battle in the end to deal with the Celestials. That would be fun, dude, and I think they could sell it. I think they could sell it.
I definitely think they could sell it because there's a ton of characters that you can explore with that. You got the Shari, you got the Kree, you got the Skrulls. They kind of fucked up the Skrulls, but I mean,
epically
we know the Skrulls are,
the
Skrulls are these poor, people just trying to find a home. They're basically, the future.
They're the brown people, Slick.
Yeah, and now
don't be racist.
How can they bring it in that these are an invasive species, which they are?
Sure.
Wow.
Wow. All right, next story. Moving on.
Another invasive species, which was, they're black, but they're the Brood.
The Brood. Well, that's a ripoff of Aliens, though. I don't think they ever put that on film. That's too much of a ripoff.
One last thing on this specific, like the Celestial and the cosmic characters. If they were going to bring Galactus in, he would almost need an Infinity War-like movie that's basically just his movie.
Oh, definitely. You'd have to build it up because Galactus is such a galactic force. He's a universal force. He's entropy.
He is. But what if you, like what I was saying with that, and you had Galactus is kind of the threat, which they can't really beat. They just can kind of detour, right? But what if that whole celestial thing is going on in the background? In the end, Galactus needs to be convinced to come in and help them because it's one of the few beings that can actually deal with a celestial. And to be fair, I know what you guys are probably saying in your head. Well, Guardians of the Galaxy, Kirk Douglas's character was being portrayed as a celestial. Yeah, okay. Eric says, well, I see Chester has found someone to take over the racist viewpoints. Oh, God. It's a communal effort. It's a communal effort, Eric. A communal effort.
We all bring our own individual touch of racism.
We do. But anyway, let's move on. But for Nova in general, I mean, it could be cool. I hope they do something interesting with it. But we have to always keep in mind Guardians in the Galaxy for all of us comic book guys. You know right well that was always a D-list comic book. It was most people, even book guys, didn't know much about it. It's very few of us who actually read or cared about it, right? And
Well,
they
I'd say
took,
I've always been a cosmic guy, but yeah,
you know
that
what I
is a
mean,
valid
dude.
statement. Yeah.
And they took that unknown thing and they made it very cool and fun. Family fun
Well,
is what they did.
and it's totally like it's the type of thing that that they could make their version of a Star Wars because they've got all the groundwork laid. I mean, you got multiple empires, a bunch of threats, and crazy over the top stuff, even all the way up to like the one above all and the one below all. I mean, all that
Yeah,
stuff is
right.
there.
Yeah, I don't think they'll go that deep though. That's why I meant the Celestials are kind of perfect for them as far as the movie-going audience level of God stuff. I think the Celestials,
Living
you don't have to go
tribunal
beyond
and all
that,
that
right?
shit.
Yeah, I don't think they
Well,
get into that. Yeah, they
Well, they've
might.
already mentioned the Living Tribunal in
Yeah,
Doctor
they'll wink at
Strange.
it. Yeah, actually in Thor they mentioned it, didn't they?
Well, they mentioned it in Doctor Strange too. The one of them has, I think it's called the Staff of the Living Tribunal or something is mentioned.
Something like
Something to that
that. Yeah,
effect.
yeah, yeah. But they can wink and do Easter eggs for that kind of stuff. I just who knows what they'll do. I just really think that the Celestials would be a good top end for the mundane audience. Although who knows, they might be trying to do that with the Eternals, which would be dumb. But then again, it shows you how dumb they are. The Eternals were.
well, the Eternals were created by the Celestials, so
Yeah, of course they were. So there could be a connection. But that's, I'm talking about from a difference between what we know and what you can sell to the mundane audience, right? But the thing, it still kills me about the damn Eternals, Kirby's Eternals, because we always say, oh, it's the new gods and the Eternals, but the
Mm.
Eternals are, to be fair, are different, right? Because what
yeah,
he
they
had
are.
with them is he represented each of the pantheons of the world, and therefore they're all different races, right? Japan and India and the Greeks and the Nords and all that kind of stuff. And that's fine. It's fun. It's easy to do. It's easy to sell. But what do these idiots over at Marvel do? They take something that's already very diverse and they switch the race of everybody else again. What are you?
Yeah, it's
What's
stupid.
wrong with you? I
They
mean,
may as well just skip the middleman, just dig up his corpse and just rape it, because that's what they're doing. It's
it's
ridiculous
so
what they've been
dumb.
doing to
Why do
Kirby.
you
Well,
take the
the
Japanese guy
the
and make him a black
the
guy?
deviants are all going to
Why?
be really white people. So I'm just gonna, put that out there.
But you know what I'm saying. It's just inane, dude. It's freaking inane. Pencil for Life. Hey, Brad, what's up, dude? Chester's glad to know you're racist as ever, man. Well, thank you. I don't really
Well,
get
a
so.
racist. Apparently, you're a racist.
You're
Well,
the
dude, I am
racist. You're the
racy.
racist
I
ever,
am
man.
very
You are.
racy.
You're the raciest I know.
Yes.
Mm.
I will
Mhm.
certainly mingle and poke all kinds of different races. I am a equal
Ah,
opportunity poker. Thank you very much,
Mhm.
sir. But
mhm.
they're going to cast Ted Danson as
He's
Galactus.
a poker, but not a pole smoker.
Poor Eric. I said Kurt Douglas instead of Kurt Russell, and I might have done that intentionally. You never know. Okay.
I like Kurt
Yeah.
Russell.
I love Kurt Russell, dude, and I love Kurt
Kurt
Douglas
Russell's,
too. Michael Douglas,
yeah.
hit or miss. Hit or miss. Sometimes he's good.
Oh,
He married him a
oh.
hottie though. He gets extra
He
points
did.
for that. Catherine Zeta-Jones. Now
She's
there's a
she's
brown
kind of
lady that certainly doesn't get kicked out of
she's
bed
kind
very
of
Did he
often.
do
crazy.
that? Did he do
She's
that?
brown.
Did he marry?
Catherine Zeta-Jones. That's Welsh.
That is a brown lady. I'm sticking to
She's
it.
Welsh.
I am looking this up. Right meow.
Dude, Catherine
As we
Zeta-Jones
speak.
is an absolute hottie, dude.
No, she was.
Oh my god,
in her
she's
day.
Welsh.
Yeah, she's Welsh. I'm not blowing smoke up people's ass.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll take that bit of conspiracy theory in hand. But I don't care. She's a absolute hottie, and she gets passes to everything. She's allowed.
Mm-hmm.
She's
She can be
also
whatever race she
bipolar,
likes. She can tell me whatever race. She can tell me she's a freaking black woman. I don't care.
Who
and
cares?
she's
She's just a
she's
hottie.
also bipolar. So
Oh,
there's that.
oh God. Whatever.
I need to deal with that.
Yeah. I love how
she'd be an incredible shag.
I love how what we used to call bitchy has become bipolar these days. I love that. Everyone's bitchy.
Every woman has bipolar now.
Yeah,
Funny
right.
that.
Cult Film Video says she's Welsh but tan. She's beautiful. She's not a she's a fair actress. She can do a role. She can do her thing. But she
Do you know
married
why
that.
women are suddenly bipolar?
Well, she
Because
married
we
Michael Douglas,
we
and she
don't
was kind of
like
done. You know, plenty of money. Don't need to worry
Yeah,
about it. Does she have any
it's
babies? Did she get herself any kids? I wonder.
I think they did have some
Awesome.
children.
That's awesome.
How could you not pump babies into that thing? Come on.
Well, I mean, you know, some of these Hollywood ladies, you know, are very particular. But seeing as we didn't see her much, I kind of figured she went the mom route, which is cool. And they've been together forever, so you know, they're
Aw,
obviously a couple. Yeah, it's nice. It is nice.
that's
Uh,
beautiful. That makes
yeah.
my winky tingle.
Well, you know the thing, a difference about it though, when we talk about Michael Douglas and compared to Kurt Russell. Now Kurt Russell, he never married because they're kind of weird that way. But he's been with Goldie Hawn since what, the 70s?
Yeah, they've been together for a
Forever. I
long,
don't know
long
why they
time.
didn't bother to marry. They got a ton of kids. And Goldie Hawn got out of it. She became the mom. I wish she would stop putting injections of whatever that crap those women put in their face. I wish she'd
I know
stop
she
it.
looks weird. Did you see that movie where he plays Santa Claus and
Yeah,
she's in there
no.
at the end? You're
I
just like,
loved it.
damn.
Loved it.
It was
I
a
mean,
great film, but like the very end, I hope they do a sequel because I really it's one of my it's on my, and you can't buy it right now. You can't buy it as a DVD, which is annoying to me because it's to me it's going to be like one of my holiday classics.
and no, I loved it. Well, dude, name something that Kirk Douglas has been in that wasn't good. Even if you go back to his Disney years where he did a million freaking kid movies,
Yeah,
he's just
the
good.
computer in tennis shoes and the
Yeah,
strongest
yeah.
man in the world and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Goldie Hawn lets Kurt cheat. Russell Alpha confirmed. Does she? I don't know anything about their personal life. But my point being is that Catherine Zeta-Jones is a beautiful woman who's aged very well. Goldie Hawn was absolute hottie. Absolute hottie. You know, for those of us who grew up in that Laugh-In and stuff, oh my God, she was so damn sexy. But she didn't age well at all. Not any of that at all. Yeah, it's too bad. Come on, Thundero, agree with me.
Sure.
Yeah.
She's all right. She's all right. She's
No,
not
she
my
was a
favorite,
beauty,
but she's
dude.
all right.
Oh, I was in love with Goldie Hawn when I was a kid, dude. Yeah.
Well, back there on Laughing, she was the kind of the ditzy chick that everybody liked her. She's very funny. She's a capable comedian to
She
go with it.
is.
So
She is. She can be funny, and she's got that cutesy thing, like you said, going on. The ditzy blonde thing going on, and I just from my era, and I'm sure Eric is agreeing with me in here. She was just one of those girls. I mean, who were the hotties when I was a kid that all the boys had crushes on? You had Goldie Hawn, you had a Raquel Welch, of course. You had what were the Angels? The Charlie Angels girl. The
Farrah Fawcett.
Oh God,
Jacqueline
Farrah
Smith.
Fawcett. Oh Jesus. Olivia
Jacqueline
Newton-John.
Smith was
Oh, Jacqueline
actually
Smith.
Jacqueline Smith was my favorite. She was my favorite angel. Jacqueline.
A cult
then you
film
have
video.
Cheryl Ladd
Get out of
after
here with
that, too.
Jane Fonda. What the hell? Well, you're ruining my
No Jane
chubby.
Fonda. Freaking Hanoi Jane. Ugh.
Yeah. Blech.
Jacqueline Bisset was pretty fine too, man. And
She was.
Jane Seymour.
She was.
Jane
Oh
Seymour.
my
holy
God. Oh
shit.
God. The Eternal. There's a movie they should make about her, the woman who never ages. Barbarella Man. Yeah, I know she's pretty, but she's a traitor. She's a
Yeah,
traitor.
she's a damn traitor, and I don't forgive.
No way you forgive that crap. Kenny eventually did forgive her. So if Kenny can forgive, we have to forgive, though. I kind of think.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know.
She's still a commie.
Yeah, she's definitely a commie. We're talking about stuff that none of these people understand. You know that, Slick. But who was the other one? There was another Heather Locklear.
Heather Locklear was pretty fine.
Yeah, dude.
Joan Collins was pretty fine back in the 70s. I mean, she really was.
Oh, Joan
What
Collins
has
was.
that show turned into? For
Dude,
God's sake, go to the
Shut
next
up!
story.
We're talking about beautiful women.
Oh my God, you're talking about old women who are old now and ugly. Nobody wants to talk
Oh
about
man,
that.
you don't even know.
Disrespect
You
her.
don't even
Disrespect her. Let me find
Sophia Loren. I'm gonna go there. Go watch anything of Sophia Loren. I
Sophia.
guarantee you're gonna have a
Let me-
boner
let me-
by the end of it.
Let me dust it off and pull out my my freaking projector that I'll need to watch it because it's so old.
Oh,
Wow.
jeez.
Speaking-
Old is not
Speaking of all
bad.
these women need to be dusted off as well, I bet.
What was that? Oh, Slick, what was that actress's name? She was in a bunch of those black and white stuff. Something Gale. Something Gale. Amanda Gale, Aubrey Gale. Aubrey Gale? Aubrey Gale? Maybe Aubrey.
It doesn't ring a bell with me.
Well, she's not horribly well known. No, it's not. That's definitely not her. Damn it. I can't remember her name.
I remember when we did comics news.
Shut up. Okay, what was she in? Come on, brain work.
We used to be a respected news source.
Hold on a second. Oh no, God, what is all this stuff? Let me see. That she was in a Three Stooges movie. Hold on a second.
Oh, jeez, you go way back.
Yes. Yeah, Swing Parade. That's the movie she was in. Yep.
Mhm.
What was her? She's in a few other movies too. She's horribly underrated for her beauty. Gale, there it is. All right.
Gail Simone. Oh.
God, you really suck sometimes. I just want you to know that. Gale Storm. Is that what her name was? Gale Storm. I had it backwards. Oh. Yeah. Oh. That was a beautiful woman. Oh, let's use this one. That's better. That I
Let's see, in the
remember.
chat we have Cat R asking, what happened to comics news? Well, Cat, you see, Chester hasn't been laid in a while.
No, that's
So
not
we have
true at all.
women
I'm
them like
introducing a woman who is horribly underrated for her beauty that most people don't know. Gale Storm is a absolute
We were a
eye.
respected news outlet.
All right, fine. Here we go. Pick your last story for the day. We're not okay.
You
First
know
of
what?
all,
You ruined my day. I don't want to talk about comics anymore. Just I want to talk about an old woman who only cum dust now.
oh God. Yes, no, Hepburn's a beauty. HBO reveals first 3 episode synopsis for upcoming crime drama Trackers. Whatever. Lucas, we found out, ultimately didn't like the Disney reboot of his movies. Shocker. Hi, Cat.
Hey guys, I gotta get going. I have my other show, the Cheesecake Challenge, so I gotta.
We're going to wrap up here as well. So thank you very much for coming in, Slick. And we'll talk to you later, dude. Go watch his Cheesecake Challenge if you want to see pretty ladies, which for some reason are not eternally beautiful, even though they are. Thundero.
They're not.
All right, fine.
Go fuck one of them right now, just to see how
Oh my!
much
The
you feel.
power just went out. My power just went out.
Good.
Fine. See you later, guys. Bye bye.
Later, dude. We are going to wrap it up here, but I have a question. Why do all of these producer types all have the same type of name? Akiva Goldsman. It's almost as if there's a certain race of people who have
What?
some manner of control over some of the media aspects of our planet.
Way.
It seems that
be,
way.
That can't be true.
Oh,
The media says it isn't.
This is talking about the new Star Trek thing, Strange New Worlds, which, I don't know, do I even care?
Not really.
Let's see.
We've killed Chester's buzz now. We told him that that he couldn't just be sitting there just perving on women all day on comics news today, and now he doesn't want to do it.
I know, but
He lost his passion.
Well, I have, because I'm just done with Star Trek. But here's one that might be cool. Because this was an epic freaking animation. Gargoyles creator Greg Weisman wants to redo disappointing 3rd season. What do you think about that?
It has been decades since I've watched Gargoyles.
Yeah, but it was a great show, dude. That was a great show.
So I would have to catch up on it. I'd probably have to get Disney Plus just to catch up on that again. But I don't know what was wrong with the first season. I can't comment. But hell, if he wants to redo something he felt was underwhelming, I said go ahead. That'd be cool.
Thunder, did you watch Gargoyles? You must have watched Gargoyles, dude.
Oh, of course. Gargoyles is fantastic. It's one of the best animated shows ever made.
Was the 3rd season really that disappointing? I didn't really get that vibe when I watched it.
It's not as good as the first 2, but I don't think it's like god awful.
What's wrong with it? Is it the writing or the animation or something?
I'd have to watch it to give you a specific review on it, but I remember it just not being as That's what I'm looking for. Is immersive. Like it doesn't just pull you in like the other seasons do.
Mm.
The other season, the world building and stuff in the first 2 seasons is unbelievable. It's one of the best things about that.
It's
the whole
really well done. Yeah, it is. It sits up there with Batman animated series and the Avatar: Last Airbender series as far as really well done stuff, in
Yeah.
my opinion. But I would, I don't know about him having to redo the third season, because I didn't really feel that it was that big a problem. I hate this art, by the way. But what I would love to see them do is simply just bring it back.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I'd like to.
it's
It's
an
really good.
animation. It's easy to do. I'm sure you
It's
could get
something
voices that are
different,
similar
right?
enough, huh?
Something different too. Well, you could just get all the same voices. I mean,
You
they're all
could.
still alive, to my knowledge. It's something different, right? Right now we're inundated with very samey stuff. Like everything just kind of feels samey, and we're starting to break away out of that mold. I think as far as like the culture. But for a long time, it was all superhero or superhero-esque stuff in all media, like top down in America. And I think I think the world and the culture and the people are just ready for something new, and it's something different. It's really good. If you've never watched it, yeah, it's still like a kids show technically, but it's a very well written kids show. Like stuff that happens makes sense generally. The characters make sense in their world. Like it's very well done, and the world is absolutely beautiful. It's like Gotham levels of beautiful.
Yeah.
So
In the 90s, we had really good kid shows for
Oh my God, yeah.
mature kid shows like Batman the Animated Series, obviously.
Now you
well,
have
a good
She-Ra
show,
because you need to teach children about lesbianism. It's very important.
Well, yeah,
a
of course.
good show for a kid,
How to
anybody
scissor.
should be able to sit down and watch and get something out of it. And I think that show is a great example of it. Batman animated series. It doesn't talk down to you like you're an idiot
No,
just because it's
we
aimed at children.
and we didn't used to do that.
Yeah.
I tell you, one of the most frustrating things for me, because I teach kids, right? And I used to. I don't do. We don't have many now, but I used to kind of help with the new teachers they bring over for their kind of official government English assistant system they had, and
Mm.
all of them would go into these elementary schools and talk to them the kids like they were two.
Yes.
I'm like, what are you doing?
How you do it, kiddies? Like
Yeah,
me, like
it's
that.
dumb. Can you
Yeah.
say the letter A? They're freaking 8. What's wrong with you?
They
I
better
think I think I've said this on the show before, but it's worth saying again. I've had 8-year-olds ask me for cigarettes. So,
Sure. And
these kids aren't. They don't want to be kids. That's part of the problem, right? These kids these
that's
days,
true.
they're on a rush to grow up.
They are. Yeah, they don't. If they only knew.
It's a real shame.
But of course, now this goes juxtapositioned against the fact that you have a lot of these people teaching sexual things to children, and it kind of offends us. And understand, it's not that the kids can't understand it; it's that they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, bastages. But anyway, Kat says, I've never seen it, but I've heard people say they loved it. Kat, you should go watch episode 1 and enjoy the ride, because it's really, really good storytelling. It's well done. Yeah.
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 I think we need different. We just need different. Everything just feels so boring and the same in the last few years. There's been a few bright spots, but it's all just sanitized corporate nonsense coming from the top down. And I think that's a great example of a high concept idea that they absolutely pulled off, for at least for the most part, for the first 2 seasons especially, of just something fun and different. And it's dark and it's brooding, but it's still a kid's show, right? I mean, it's still lighthearted at times and stuff too. So I think if you haven't seen it, go watch it. At least watch the first few episodes, and I think you'll really enjoy it. I really do. I think anybody in this
it's
space
spectacular. Yeah. And I didn't know that most of the voice cast came from a Star Trek Next Generation. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yep.
Makes sense though, because I think Franks plays Goliath, doesn't he?
Frakes plays. I think he plays the villain.
Is it? I know he's in there somewhere. But that's cool. Yeah. And Eric says Gargoyles was great. Shoot, Chester and I were probably in our early 20s when it came out, and we watched it because it was so good. It's true. I remember the first time I saw it. I was in New York, and I was living in the frickin' village, and I was in this. They had like this old warehouse they converted into this giant studio with a bunch of beds. It was basically a flop house, I guess you call it. But there was a TV in there, and I remember I was making lunch for like a half a dozen people, sandwiches, of course. And it came. They were watching it on the TV, and I was like, "Ooh, what's that?" And I went and I watched it, and I watched it every time I could. It's really good stuff. But I mean, yeah, I was older. It's not something I normally would watch, right? Because I think at the same time they had like DuckTales, which was fine for kids, I guess. They had Darkwing Duck, which is a little bit more fun, but it wasn't something I would make time to sit down and watch, right? But that thing, I tried to be in a place to watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. In fact, my wife really loves it too. I mean, she was a kid when it came out too, and it's on. I think it's on Disney Plus right now, so you can watch the pretty much the whole. I think it's got all of it.
Oh, that's cool. Definitely go check it out. Keith David is to Goliath. Yeah, you're right, Bullet. There you go.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Greg Weisman lost his way on the original series during the World Tour storyline. He's a great idea man, but loses his way, i.e., Young Justice, Outsiders. Young Justice is another thing my kids watched. I don't know Outsiders offhand, but the Young
I
Justice.
love the first season of Young Justice,
Oh, it's
and
awesome.
it's a real shame because they're never going to capture that again because of their whole time skip thing they keep wanting to do. And the
Yeah.
second season was all right, but they started introducing too many characters and focusing on the ones, not focusing on the ones that we gave a shit about, right?
Well,
And then Outsiders was just they were trying to tie together way too many stories,
I don't know that
way
one.
too many characters I didn't give a shit about.
You know
And they
something?
made a really massive mistake when they had an episode where Nightwing gets like knocked out and starts having weird fever dreams, right?
Mhm.
And he started dreaming about his original team, and I was like, well, that was a terrible idea because now I missed all these guys, and this is the show I want to watch. Not
Well, you know,
yeah.
at the around the same time they had that Teen Titans, which was pretty good too. And
Mm.
the kids were. I thought Young Justice was better, but Teen Titans was
Yeah.
fun, and my kids were watching it. And then something really bizarre happened, Booster. I'm
Well,
still
tell me.
confused. It was killer. It was really well done. The kids loved it. I enjoyed sitting watching it with them. Teen Titans. And then all of a sudden, another season came, and it was different. It was Teen Titans Go.
Oh,
And I don't
yeah.
understand what happened because you had something that was really good and you turned it into what? I don't know what it is, but
So
it was
Teen
wrong.
Titans always
It was
had
wrong.
like this kind of weird mix of like the whole Japanese centrism, right, with some American writing. And then they were just kind of
Don't
like,
blame
"Hey,
the
how you know?"
Japanese for that crap.
I'm blaming them because they kind of someone looked at Teen Titans and said, "Hey, you know all that retarded stuff that with the funny faces and things that they do that people love? How about we just make the entire show that and make
Yeah.
it completely insufferable?"
Well, they Steven Universe did, was what they did. And
Mm.
well, I just don't get it though. You have this thing that is absolutely killing. People love it. And you say, no, we're not going to keep doing the successful thing. We're going to do something different. I don't get it. I don't understand the logic, you know?
Teen Titans.
But I mean,
Here's the excuse they often will give. They'll say, "Well, it's not made for you," and I just say to them, "Well, then who the hell is it made for?" Because nobody was. It's not like it's super popular, and it was the most popular version of it or something, right? Like the ratings or whatever. So who
Oh,
are you
dude,
making it for?
Teen Titans Go is huge, dude, with kids. It
yeah,
has
with like kindergarten kids,
it's
maybe, yeah.
with like retarded children, yeah.
Well, for little kids, probably. But I just don't understand that you had something that worked really well that people loved, and then you just shut it off and did something different. I don't get it. I don't know how much of it you've seen, Thundero, but you know, because I had kids, and that's why I saw it. But it wasn't bad at all, dude.
Well, you have to. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about in general. We've seen this over the last little while, last I don't know, 15 years or so. these programs that are either based on other programs or just the continuation of a program, their audiences vanish, right? They just disappear as far as like ratings and stuff go.
Hmm.
Comparatively, it might be huge with some children now, but it's nothing compared to the stuff of the past as far as its impact culturally, how big it was, how much its ratings are. There's very few shows that do ratings like shows did in the past. There's a lot of reasons for that. One is just there's a lot more stuff to watch now, but the other reason is they're just not resonating like they used to, and it's because there's so much agenda put into so much of this crap.
Well, but it's so brain dead is the problem. There's no intelligence or cleverness to it. I mean, my kids also watch things like Dexter's Laboratory, Samurai Jack, these kind of things, Ren and Stimpy, stuff like that. Now, of course, the art, particularly with Dexter, it's not necessarily the greatest art. It's a simpler, easier to do art, kind of like the Steven Universe Cal Art stuff. But it was clever and it was edgy and it was fun. So I mean, and they're not. I don't understand. They're not so separated by a great lengths of time. So you had this kind of low art that was very doable, and then you had this just brain dead Steven Universe stuff. I mean, it's truly brain dead. I don't. It just doesn't. I don't understand what happened. Who did someone die and then someone else was put in charge? I don't know, but it's weird, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think what happened is Tumblr, and it, ruined all media ever since, especially animation. Like, look how much animation is this Cal Arts stuff that's clearly designed and targeted at one specific group of people.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't seen. Of course, I don't have the opportunity to watch cartoons anymore. My kids are out of the house, so occasionally we'll look for a good anime over here in Japan. But so I don't really know what's going on right now. To be fair, Japanese kids watch U.S. cartoons and American kids watch anime. That's not true at all, dude. The Japanese are very snooty when it comes to that kind of thing. Actually, it's very hard to find any Western animation in Japan at all. I mean, I suppose you could go dig it up somewhere, but it's certainly not on the TV. When it comes to anime, the Japanese are very elitist in that way. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, you can find some of the American shows sometimes, like in the video rental places, but that's live action. Like 24 was fairly popular here. Prison Break, for some reason, was very popular here. But I don't know why, but it just was. Things like that. But Western cartoons, they have no clue at all, none. And the funniest thing is, you see kids all the time around here wearing a Marvel shirt, and they don't even know. They couldn't even name a Marvel character hardly. And if they do, it's usually Spider-Man, maybe.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying they don't have a clue. And actually, the interesting kind of little juxtaposition of that is this: my children were raised on both, of course, right? And my son particularly, my daughter too, but my son particularly, he had a huge group of friends, with his sports and stuff, and he introduced a lot of those Spider-Man animations and various different Western stuff to them, and they loved it. They loved it.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's not like they couldn't sell it here; they just don't. So
Yeah.
anyway, I think
Hmm.
we've really talked too much. Probably an hour and a half too much.
Probably.
I should have just done a
You've probably
10-minute
talked
show.
too much. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Although I really feel like I should go back and look for more sexy old ladies, though. I feel that
Yeah, you can do that in your own spare time instead of on air, and subjecting our audience to that.
All right, fine. You racists. Anyway,
Yeah.
so let's go ahead and get out of here then. Let's let Booster's go to Namaste us out of here, because I feel Booster has some inspiration today. He has a longing to speak to the universe, to scream into the void, as it were.
No, I really do. I do want to scream into the void. Something along the lines of "Take me back."
Okay, there we go. So it's confirmed. Booster is an alien. Thundero, closing statements, please.
Bye. We're gonna do Bunny Vision Movie Night on Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Discord. I'm gonna put a link for the Discord right now if my computer will quit having an aneurysm.
Join it. Join our Discord.
Join the Discord. Jump
Getting a
on.
lot more active.
It's real easy. It's real simple. And then when it goes live, all you have to do is quite literally just click the general chat. The general chat, if you're in there, you can see it. The general voice chat. You don't have to talk. You can just listen if you want. That's fine. No one's gonna be offended if you don't talk. And we'll just watch the movie. We're gonna watch What We Do in Shadows. Booster and I have been watching the series What We Do in Shadows, and it's hilarious. So if it's as good as the series is, I think everybody's gonna have a good time.
Who's doing the series?
It's not the same actors, right? But these actors they've got are absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's still Taika Waititi and
so
Jermaine
he is-
Clement directing the series.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because we'll watch the movie first for those who haven't seen it, but it's great. It's great, and it's what Waititi should be doing, dude. I understand he's got stars in his eyes and he's getting opportunity to make money and stuff, and I don't begrudge him that. But this is what he
people
does,
in Hollywood
man.
seem to love him, right? Because
Yeah.
he's getting opportunities everywhere.
Well, he seems like a nice fellow, and he's the right color.
Yeah.
He's brown.
He's moldy, right? He's a new thing. For them, they're like, well, we haven't got one of these in our collection.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I do like Waititi.
Hey, bro, how you doing? I'm Taika Waititi. I'm good ass. I want to make a good movie for you.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, Thundero. Definitely come on tomorrow for Bugbear's Basement, where we're going to be doing Elatero episode 7, I think. We're having a lot of fun with that steampunk adventure. If you want to be part of that, we welcome you to come watch the shenanigans, because that's what it really boils down to. And my absolute murder bot that I'm playing. But Booster, take us out of here.
Oh, well, I have been Booster Kiwi. Booster Kiwi on the YouTube, on the Twitter. I always keep telling people I'm going to stream, and then I don't, because I am... You cannot underestimate my level of laziness.
Yep.
And
Procrastination's the word.
laziness, procrastination, not giving a fuckable. All of the above, feel are applicable. And as a namaste, I'm going to say, your perception shapes your reality, so always make it a good one.
Namaste. It's been a while.
A classic, eh?
A classic. We always need to have them classics. But yeah, guys, awesome. Thank you very much. And yeah, well, namaste. Indeed. Later.
Aloha.